Right, go ahead.
Okay, good morning. My name is David Steinberg, Hearing Officer for San Francisco Public Works. Nathan Rodas is the clerk for this hearing. This hearing is being recorded via Zoom and will be available afterwards through a link on the San Francisco Public Works website, sfpublicworks.org. As this is a virtual hearing, there's no sign-in sheet, so if you would like to receive information about the results of this hearing, please send an email to the email address listed on the hearing notice. This public hearing is held to consider one item. It's order number 211239 to consider the validity of notices to repair that have been issued to various property owners and utility agencies for the restoration of public right-of-way sidewalks as part of the city's sidewalk inspection and repair program. Inspectors from San Francisco Public Works Bureau of Street Use and Mapping have conducted inspections on blocks in the Richmond District neighborhood bordered by Geary Boulevard and Anns on the north, 14th Avenue on the east, Fulton Street on the south, and 18th Avenue on the west. My job as a hearing officer is to gather the facts of the hearing item, listen to your testimonies, and help our Director of Public Works make determinations. I will not be making any decisions today. Instead, I will forward the findings from this hearing and make my recommendations to the Director. The Director will make the final determinations. When the Director's determinations are made, the department will notify you of them if you have provided contact information. The hearing will proceed as follows. I will ask Public Works to speak first and present the case. There's no time limit for this presentation. Then I will allow property owner or appellant to speak, and any member of the public or witness who wants to speak. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to speak. The clerk will monitor the time for all speakers and will indicate when the speaker has 30 seconds left. If you're a party to the proceeding, I'll call on you to speak. If you would like to use visual materials, please let me know before you speak. You will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. If you are a member of the public or witness who wants to speak, wait for me to call for public comments, then use the Zoom raise your hand feature if you're on a computer to put yourself in the queue to speak. If you're dialing in on your phone, dial *9 to indicate that you're raising your hand. When it's your turn to speak, I will recognize you. If on your phone and you're muted, press *6 to unmute yourself. If you'd like to use visual materials and present in your presentation, please let me know before you speak, and you will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. Comments and questions should be addressed to me and not to the department or the applicant. If you cannot finish your comments within the allotted time, you may submit written testimony to me by the end of this hearing. If I feel that a question is warranted, I will ask the question. After all comments are completed, I will close the item. We will now begin the hearing. At this time, we'll open the hearing to public comments. Members of the public may comment on matters that are within the department's jurisdiction, but not on today's agenda. Are there any public comments at this time? Nathan, I don't see any
I don't see anyone.
public individuals, so we'll close public comments. And the first item on, the only item on today's agenda is order number 211239. May I have Public Works make its presentation?
Good morning, hearing officer. My name is Woo Ju Chung. I am with the Bureau's the Code Enforcement Division, formerly the Bureau of Street Use and Mapping. Here to discuss SERP 158, Balboa and 16th. That is what we are colloquially calling it. Public Works Code Section 706 states that it shall be the duty of the property owners to maintain the sidewalk and sidewalk area fronting or adjacent to their property in good repair and condition. That said, this public hearing is considered the validity of notices to repair that have been issued to various property owners for the restoration of the sidewalks in the public right-of-way. The sidewalk inspection and repair program was enacted by the city in 2007 to improve the pedestrian path of travel by inspecting and notifying property owners of defects requiring repair. Under city and state codes, property owners are responsible to maintain the sidewalks fronting their properties. This program differs from past inspection programs by providing funding for the city to allow property owners the option to have the city repair the sidewalks for them and to invoice them upon completion of the work. Part of the SERP process is to hold public hearings for property owners to express their concerns as to the validity of the required sidewalk repairs. Today's hearing is for property owners who have received sidewalk repair notifications in the SERP 158 phase in the outer Richmond neighborhood bordered by Geary Boulevard and Anza Street on the north, 14th Avenue on the east, Fulton Street on the south, and 18th Avenue on the west. Letters for this area were mailed out on December 5th, 2024. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any individuals who wish to speak? And again, I don't see any public members online. If there are none on the phone, then I will close comments. Looks like Jason, you have a question? Want to unmute yourself and go ahead and speak? I can unmute you. Nathan, can you unmute Jason? Please.
I believe the question is from the attendee, Danny Lee. If you can unmute him, and he would like to have a follow-up question.
Oh, okay.
Hi, this is Danny Lee. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just have a question about the estimate. I don't know if this is the proper forum. Will we be receiving a final cost before work is to be performed? And my second question is, will we be notified when the work will start so we can move cars for accessibility?
Okay, those are reasonable questions. If Public Works,
Yeah,
would you,
absolutely.
if you'd like to comment on that?
Absolutely. So the way that the invoicing works is it is only an estimate until the work has been completed. No payment is due until the work has been completed. It remains an estimate till we actually we go up and follow up and we measure out the exact amount of work that was done. And then after we go through that, after construction has been completed for that entire neighborhood, we will follow up with invoices. So that's why it remains an estimate at this time. We are very mindful of cost. And, again, just like if I go to a mechanic, the last thing I want is to be quoted a certain price, and then I get the final bill and it's significantly over. So we are very mindful of that. If we do anticipate there might be additional issues, which may raise your estimate, we will get in touch with you and let you know.
Okay.
And Danny, if you could repeat that second question.
Well, follow up on the first question, I guess. At what point would you follow up if it's more than the estimate?
If we think that it's going to be 10% over what was estimated for you, then we will follow up with you.
Okay. And who would follow up, the original inspector or yourself?
Either our administrative team or or the inspector itself, correct? What I would suggest too, and because this is a public hearing, it's not really designed to be a more interactive kind of, and I know you're the only attendee, so we have this kind of flexibility. But yes, a lot of these questions too, we're more than happy to work with you on any questions that you have. Contact your your inspector on the notice directly, or you can reach out to me as well too. I will put my email in the chat, and you can reach out to me directly as well.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question is, will we be notified when work is to begin so we can move cars for accessibility if needed?
Sure. So we do send a pre-construction letter mailed out to the neighborhood prior to when our contractor goes into the area. With that said, it just lets the residents of that said area know that, hey, our contractor is moving into there. Do keep in mind it's a 15 block area, and so they may take like a couple months. what I usually tell property owners is look for the A-frames, the no stopping signs up and down your block, because they will usually work on one block at a time or one street at a time. And if the contractor specifically is LC General and you see no stopping signs, the previous basically on the Friday before week is gonna begin, that lets you know that hey, they're coming through on my street. If you have any questions about parking or whether or not hey, you need to get your garage when they're gonna be there, more closer to the date, call the number on the no stopping sign. That calls directly to the contractor, and they're definitely more than willing to accommodate any parking issues that you may have.
Okay, so I guess you're thinking they probably wouldn't start anything until March then.
And this is SERP one. Yeah, we're looking probably end of Q2, um, before we get our contractor out there.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's
we're a
gonna be a
couple
while.
months out.
Yeah, at least.
Okay, all right. Well, that answers my question. I guess I'll look for your contact in case I have any more questions again
Um,
on
Thank
the
you,
chat.
Mr. Lee. I appreciate you participating and sorry for making you wait.
Okay, that's all right.
Um, are there any other public comments? Doesn't look like there's anyone else online, so if that is the case, I will close public comments. And then I just have one question for Wuju. Is there you said that they generally will notify property owners the Friday before the week that's done. Is there a specific like 72-hour notice or that's required for that work?
that is correct. So as per our city code, whenever any no parking or any contractor is required to place if they're gonna block out parking for those for street space, that they need to place those signs a minimum 72 hours prior to any construction activity. So they usually will that Friday before before the week of work starts, they usually will put up all the signs on that Friday. And so that gives the weekend for them for any residents to just be aware that, hey, there's going to be work the following week and make any arrangements for offsite parking or, being able to get into the garage. With that said, they are pretty good and mindful about providing some kind of access. We understand that parking is an issue in and around the city. So we do try to accommodate that. Another key thing to note with that is I know a lot of property owners want to get back into their garages, but if there is any concrete work that needs to cure on that driveway and after it's been completed, that they try to stay off that driveway for a minimum of 48 hours so that the concrete can properly cure.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that answers the questions that were raised. Mr. Lee, again, if you have any other questions, please contact the inspector and the contact information that's on the notice, and they'll be able to give you detailed responses. And then I see that Wuju put his email in the chat. If you want to jot that down, that might be helpful if you have a hard time getting hold of someone. So there being no further public comments, I will close this hearing. So thank you all for participating. This hearing is now closed.